Good day, everyone. I'm Lane Desirte Coronado. The topic for today is apply personal selling approaches. So, when we say personal selling, it is person to person communication with a prospect. Then, personal selling is a process of developing relationships, discovering needs, matching products with needs, and communicating benefits. So there are five personal selling approaches, which is stimulus, response, mental states, need satisfaction, problem solving, and consultative selling. So the first personal selling approach will be discussed by Miss Abad.
Stimulus response selling is an approach to selling which relies on the salesperson's ability to say the right thing in order to obtain a favorable reaction from the buyer. Example of the stimulus response view of selling would be continued affirmation, a method in which a series of questions or statements furnished by the salesperson is designed to condition the prospective buyer to answering yes, time after time, until it is hoped he or she will be inclined to say yes to the entire sales proposition. There are three categories, which are salesperson provides stimuli, buyer responses, suit and continue process until purchase decision. First one, is salesperson provide a salesperson who sells merchandise or services either in a shop or directly to customers on behalf of a company. Examples, statements, questions, actions, audio and visual ads, and demonstration. The second one is buyer responses, which is the marketer's task is to understand what happens in the buyer's consciousness between the arrival of outside stimuli and the buyer's purchase decision. Examples are favorable reactions and eventual purchase. The last one is continue process until purchase decision is consumer decision process. Next reporter.
Mental state selling, also called formula approach to personal selling, assumes that the buying process for all buyers are similar and that buyers can be manipulated through certain mental states or steps in the buying process. The mental states approach to personal selling assumes that buyers must be led through four mental states, which occur in this order: attention, interest, desire, and action, or what we called AIDA. Need satisfaction approach. It is based on the idea that customers buy because they have a need or want to satisfy. There are three steps in need satisfaction approach. First, uncover and confirm buyer need. You need to build trust and rapport. Ask the right question at the right time. Dig deeper. Summarize and set the stage. Second is presenting offering to satisfy buyer needs. You need to understand the customers, listen to their feedbacks, set realistic expectations, pay attention to your competitors, be consistent in communicating with your customer. Take user experience as a priority. Foster loyalty through proactive customer relations. Be honest and empathetic in customer interaction. Follow up with your customer. Make it easy for them to complain. Lastly, continue until purchase decision. This approach is useful when the salespeople use effective approaches to convince the customers into buying their products. If successful, it helps build customer trust and loyalty. For example, set-top box provider like Tata Sky, Sun Direct, and etc. to follow need satisfaction selling.
The fourth personal selling approach is problem-solving approach. Problem-solving approach is an approach to selling in which the salesperson works with the buyer to evaluate alternative solutions to a problem and to select the best alternative. So, problem-solving is the act of defining a problem, determining the cause of the problem, identifying prioritizing and selecting alternatives for a solution, and implementing a solution. In order to effectively manage and run a successful organization, leadership must guide their employees and develop problem-solving techniques. Finding a suitable solution for issues can be accomplished by following the basic 4 steps problem-solving process. First, is define the problem. Diagnose the situation so that your focus is on the problem, not just its symptoms. Helpful problem-solving techniques includes using flowcharts to identify the expected steps of a process and cause and effect diagrams to define and analyze root causes. Example is reviewing and documenting how process currently work. Example is for does what, with what information, causing what tools, communicating with what organization and individuals, in what time frame, using what format. Evaluating the possible impact of new tools and revised policies in the development of your what should be model. Second, the second steps of problem-solving process is generate alternative solution. Postpone the selection of one solution until several problem-solving alternatives has been proposed. Considering multiple alternatives can significantly enhance the value of your ideal solution. Once you have decided on the what should be model, these target standards become the basis of developing a roadmap for investigating alternatives. Brainstorming and team problem-solving techniques are both useful in this stage of the problem solving. Many alternative solutions to the problem should be generated before final evaluation. A common mistake in problem solving is that alternatives are evaluated as they are proposed, so the first acceptable solution is chosen, even if it's not the best fit. If we focus on trying to get the results we want, we miss the potential for learning something new that will allow for real improvement in the problem-solving process. The third problem-solving process is evaluate and select the alternative. Skills problem solvers use a series of consideration when selecting the best alternative. They consider the extent of which a particular alternatives will solve the problem without causing the anticipated problem. All the individuals involved will accept the alternative. Implementation of the alternative is likely. The alternative fits with the organizational concentrates. Then the fourth problem-solving process is implementing and follow up on the solution. Leaders must be called upon to direct others to implement the solution. Sell the solution or facilitate the implementation with the help of others. Involving others in the implementation is an effective way to gain buy-in and support and minimize resistance to subsequent changes. Regardless of how the solution is rolled out, feedback channels should be built in the implementation. This allows for continuous monitoring and testing for actual events against expectation, problem solving, and the techniques used to gain clarity and most effective if the solution remains in place and is updated to respond for future changes. The fifth personal selling approach is consultative selling. Goes beyond satisfying needs and providing solutions to problems. Here, the focus is to help customers achieve four strategic goals by using the product, service, and expertise of the organization. Consultative selling is an approach that prioritizes relationship and open dialogues to identify and provide solution to a customer's needs. It is hyper-focused on the customer rather than the product being sold. This technique helps sales professionals better understand the challenges faced by customers so they can position their solution in more compelling and effective way. Consultative selling skills help sales professionals position differentiate compelling solution. The outcomes of employing a consultative sales approach is greater satisfaction and stronger relationship between the buyer and seller. The consultative selling framework provides sellers with a consistent, repeatable process to more effectively execute their sales conversation. The framework can be broken down into 6 steps. First, prepare. Effective call planning leads to more productive customer meetings, increase credibility, a shortened sales cycle, and increase sales result. Using an efficient methodology for call planning help ensure that each customer call advances the sale. Second is connect. The connect phase of the sales call opens the meeting, create an impression, and sets the tone. A strong opening helps build credibility. Next is understand. Understanding is the heart of consultative selling. Sales professionals need to connect with customers, gain and keep their openness and willingness to engage in a dialogue, and ask a full range of questions. Next is recommend. The way a sales professional position a specific solution can make it easy or difficult of the customers to understand. It can also make the sales professional sounds compelling or boring. To be persuasive, sales professionals needs to describe capability and solution using clear, concise, and compelling messaging that links value to customer needs. Next is commit. Threatening closing like a process lower the risk of rejection and increases the likelihood of gaining commitment and winning the business. Next is act. Flawless follows up with the customer is one of the fastest way sales professionals can build credibility and differentiate themselves because many sales professionals are not strong in following up. Internal reflections and action planning after the call is necessary to ensure that each customer interactions are fully leveraged in order to learn and plan an appropriate action to win. So the next topic will be report by Mr. Amarillo.
3 primary roles that salespeople play in consultative selling. Strategic orchestrator. Salespeople facilitate the use of the company's resources in an effort to satisfy the needs of the customer. This involves coordinating all of the information, resources, and activities needed to support customer before, during, and after the sale. A business consultant. The salesperson uses internal and external sources to become an expert on the customer businesses. A business consultant is a professional who provides professional and expert advice in a particular area such as security, management, accountancy, law, and human resources, and many other specialized fields. Long-term ally. As a long-term ally, the salesperson shows support to the customer even if a sale is not expected. This shows the customer that you are genuinely concerned about his business. and eventually build trust, loyalty, and future sale. Long-term ally involves maintaining contact with the client even when there is no immediate prospect for a sale. It also suggests that the salesperson need to be committed to the long-term development of the relationship. And that is the end of our report. Thank you for listening.